Tuesday morning. Joining us in studio this morning, Mr. Bob Power. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Just fantastic.
You know what? Actually, let me correct myself. I just found out the Right Reverend Bob Power. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, we were chatting off the air, and Bob drops in my lap that he's an ordained minister. I did not realize. Very cool. We were last hour we played the interview with Pastor Alan Getty all about his book Unless the Lord, and Bob decided to tell me that he's an ordained minister. That's pretty cool. Have you ever done any weddings?
Pardon me?
Have you ever done any weddings?
Yeah.
Have you really?
I did one 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Okay. So is that something that you do on the regular?
It's something I'd like to do regular.
Okay, very cool. So full disclosure, I'm also ordained, but I'm not ordained in the cool way like you are. So like I went online, there's a place called the Universal Life Church that you can get yourself ordained. I did this to marry a friend of mine. Basically, I was marrying a friend of mine and his fiance. So you can get ordained in the not cool way, but you got ordained in the cool way. Like you had an actual like member of the church ordain you, correct?
Yeah.
That's the one that counts. That really is.
The wedding I did, I got up, they held it at the American Legion.
Okay.
And I got up in front of the crowd waiting for the bride and groom, and everybody in the audience was real stone-faced. I mean, there wasn't a smile or a pleasant look in the audience.
Really?
And I thought, wow, I've got to do something to loosen this crowd up.
Sure.
So the bride and groom came up, and I welcomed them, and then I said to the bride, I says, please don't do what my wife did when we got married. And she looked at me kind of funny, and I said, when we got married, the minister said, you take this man for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse. And she said, Reverend, I'm sorry, but he's got to get better. He can't get any worse.
This is the worst it could possibly be. So,
and it loosened the crowd
there
up.
you go. That's sort of like the requirement of the of whoever's overseeing the wedding. It's like you're there to marry the bride and the groom, but the crowd came a long way. You gotta also be a little bit of an MC too.
Yeah.
So speaking of MCing, by the way, you're quite the party man. You're quite the party thrower. You have a tendency to throw a pretty big party or two, from time to time.
Not parties.
Okay, that in fairness, not parties, but dances. But have you always been sort of like the party animal, like the in the crowd? Like, were you always like the guy that was like the party planner?
I was when I was younger.
Okay, fair enough.
But now I'm not a party animal
You're not a party
anymore.
animal. Nowadays, you're a dance planner. That's
well,
what
I
you
teach dancing and
Hey, really? What kind of dance do you teach?
ballroom, Latin, and country western.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I have rhythm. I just don't have, what's the other thing? Motion. Like I'm good. I can keep rhythm pretty well. I can't keep time, like with my feet. I'm not very choreographed or choreographable. I'm not very coordinated. There you go. Yeah, I'm definitely not that. So, but obviously as a dance instructor, you're one to cut a rug or two every now and again.
Well, I've been teaching since 1975, so we got 47 years experience.
Mm-hmm. You got to put it somewhere. Absolutely.
Well,
So let's talk about the big dance we have coming up on August 20th. What about that?
It's hopefully it's going to be one of our bigger dances.
Yeah.
Because we're, in addition to everything we normally do, we're going to have a lot of food and a silent auction.
Okay.
And we need the silent auction to be successful because all the money is going to the outreach program at Westminster Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
Tom Blake, the director of ministry there, has gone overboard with taking homeless people off the streets and helping them.
Awesome.
And it's expensive.
It really is, and it's something that I think that the pandemic put a spotlight on a lot of things. And one of the things it put a real spotlight on was the homeless problem here in Roswell. And it's more prevalent now than I think I've ever before. And I think a lot of that also has to do with the pandemic itself. That a lot of that sort of, people who were in a paycheck to paycheck situation, who got furloughed, who got laid off, it basically, they had no option left.
Not just in Roswell.
No, it's all over. It's a nationwide.
Tom had a homeless lady that wanted to go up to Albuquerque. So he drove her up there. And when they got there, the area that she wanted to go to, the streets were filled with trash. People were sleeping on the sidewalks all over.
Right.
And it was just a very undesirable place.
Sure.
And she wanted to come back here.
She got it. She saw how bad it could be.
Yeah.
And said, okay, I'm going to go back. Yeah, that makes sense. One of the things, not to get off on a tangent or anything, but when I lived in Albuquerque, and this is back in 2008, is when I lived in Albuquerque for about a year. One of the ways that we would get extra income is we would donate plasma. There's a plasma clinic over on Central and it's like just off of Central and San Mateo. And we would go, and I still have the track march to this day from that place. We would go and get there at about 7:00 in the morning, which is, they opened at 7:00. So we get there as they open, and there would be a line. I mean, a line around the building of folks, very much in that same situation of just like they were homeless. This was their only option for income. Is the $40 or $50 they would get from donating plasma. Yeah. It's, and you see that, and that's just one section, one microcosm of the big issue of homelessness, here right now. And again, and that's something that the pandemic absolutely, multiplied. So this is definitely an issue. And this is definitely something we want to put as much money as we can into, helping and combating. And that's why, we want this event to be a big success. We want to pack the house, right? And we're doing this with legends, all right? The King and Queen are coming back to play this big concert. We're talking about Dwayne and Jill. This is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the King and Queen. I mean, this is, if you've ever been to a Dwayne and Jill show, you know that they bring the house down. There's something about two-step into live music, and this is definitely a great opportunity.
They've been doing it for many years, and they're exceptionally good.
Absolutely.
But the silent auction, we're hoping that through this broadcast, we can get some of the ladies out there to donate cakes.
Okay.
For the silent auction.
Sure.
Because cakes always sell good.
So I have a friend who's she's not just a baker. She calls herself a cake artist, a cake artisan. I know there's a lot of those folks out there. I've seen some work. Instagram, you'll see some beautiful, beautiful examples of fantastic cakes. So I know out there in Roswell, you guys can put together a pretty cake or two. So if you're a cake artist or cake artisan, why don't you throw together something tasty that looks pretty and put it up for auction? I saw one the other day. Now this reference will probably fall on deaf ears here in this studio, but did you watch The Mandalorian?
Did I what?
Did you watch the show The Mandalorian?
No.
Okay, so you know Yoda, right? The little Star Wars character Yoda. So somebody made there's a in the show The Mandalorian, there's a baby Yoda. Okay, so somebody made a cake that was baby Yoda, but with a unicorn horn, and they called it, and the name of Baby Yoda was Grogu, so they called it the Grogu Unicorn. And it was adorable. It was in cake form. And that was somebody here in town. So if you can make a Grogu Unicorn and you want to put this on the silent auction, that would definitely be a big seller. What else what others are some other items on the silent auction that are available?
I'm right in the middle of collecting things now.
Okay.
But we've got I'll just name a couple things.
Sure.
The sword.
Whoa.
All
right. He goes, I don't know, maybe like a sword.
A couple paintings.
All right, cool.
ABC Distributing donated a really nice ice chest.
Okay, cool. I was hoping for a keg, but ice chest works.
Huh?
I said I was hoping for a keg, but ice chest works.
Yeah.
ABC donated us a keg. Nice. No, that's very cool.
And we'll have a lot of other things by then.
Now, are you still taking donations?
Oh yeah.
Excellent. So if say a business or somebody who's listening has something valuable, say for example, I know this is a big deal, here in Roswell. Say for example, somebody has one of the Choose cookbooks. I don't know if you're familiar, but when Choose closed down, they released the cookbook of all their recipes, and those were hot sellers here in Roswell. So if maybe somebody has a copy of the Choose cookbook and they want to
I've done a lot of things. A few years back, Ray's Galactic Motors on 2nd Street.
I'm familiar. That's actually where
donated a car.
Wow.
Which we weren't able to sell it, but we tried.
Sure.
And I did a horse.
All right.
At a silent auction.
That's something.
Huh?
That's really something. I mean, you're talking about moving livestock at this point. That's impressive.
Well, it was my horse.
Okay.
And I was moving out here, and I couldn't bring the horse.
Sure.
So I donated it to the church that I belong to.
Very cool.
And they got all the money for it.
That's awesome. That's really a cool thing. It's like, the whole idea of the native idea of every part of the horse or every part of the animal gets used. You used every part of that animal's life. It had its use with you and you utilized it. And then when you were done with it, when you couldn't take it with you, you donated it to the church and they made money off it.
Well, that was a bad experience for me.
Oh, really?
Because the guy that bought the horse, he was an experienced horseman. He knew horses. And the horse I donated was a registered saddle horse.
Okay.
Which is a fairly new breed.
Right.
But it was registered. It was trained for therapeutic horsemanship.
Okay.
It was a brilliant horse. It was so smart. And he had it a short time, and he left it out in the field in the spring all day. And the horse foundered from the fresh grass and died.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and at that time the horse was only 10 years old.
Oh.
And
well, that's tough.
It was so smart. The kids in the neighborhood loved to come over and ride it, and the horse would not run with the child on its back.
See,
it wouldn't even walk unless I told it it was okay.
Sure.
So, it was a very smart horse and very well trained.
That's a bummer. That is certainly a bummer. But that story notwithstanding, there's not all all trauma of the silent auction. We want to make sure that folks know that there's some some quality stuff here at the silent auction.
Anyhow, getting back to the dance.
I am curious. It says lots of food. What's on the menu?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
We haven't made up our mind about that. But the last one, we had hamburgers,
All right.
and that was my brilliant idea. And because it was my brilliant idea, I got stuck sitting outside the whole dance.
You were stuck behind the grill.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's a place of honor, though, because I mean, you think about you're feeding the masses; they're coming to you.
Oh, it was a 3-burner grill,
Okay.
and one of the burners was out.
So it was a
wouldn't work.
2-burner grill.
Yeah. So it took me twice as long to do everything, and I was out there from the time before the dance started,
Right.
up until 15 minutes before it was over.
So my suggestion for this dance, lots of food. Let's just go ahead and get one of those like 20-foot sandwiches, and then just cut it into sections. There you go. Everybody gets a piece of sandwich. There you go. Lots of food.
We've got a lady that belongs to that church.
Okay.
That makes little finger sandwiches.
Nice.
And they're delicious.
Fantastic. Nice.
But then we always have a lot of food to go along with it.
Sure, sides and drinks and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, that's the way it ought to be. But it's $5 per person, and it's definitely going to be for a worthy cause. Like we said, Tom Blake and the ministry that he has working with the with the homeless here in Roswell and in southeastern Mexico. Really, it's a definite need that needs to be filled. So that's going to be happening August 20th, which is Saturday. It's 1 week from this Saturday, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
yeah, and
1 week from this Saturday, 6 to 9, and that's happening at the at Westminster Presbyterian there at 2801 West 4th.
Right straight behind Champion Motorsports, the motorcycle dealer.
Okay, so what used to be the old Masonic Lodge, I believe.
Right next door to it.
Okay. Oh, no, okay. So we're Calvary Chapel's here, what used to be the Masonic Lodge, which is now, I believe, the school, and then Westminster.
No, now the old Masonic Lodge is a Pentecostal church.
So are you guys in the old Calvary Chapel?
No, Calvary Chapel is further west.
Gotcha. Okay, because I grew up at Calvary Chapel.
And
that's what I was
Westminster Presbyterian Church is one door east.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Sounds great. So right there, 2801 West 4th, right there behind Champion Motorsports. Can't miss the place. I obviously can, but you can. The party starts at 6 o'clock. It goes until 9. Again, silent auction. So bring that fold money. We definitely want to make sure that we make this worth their while for sure. Absolutely. So go ahead.
And again, I just can't mention it enough that we need donations for the auction, and especially cakes, because everybody likes cakes.
Oh, absolutely.
And they always sell.
Mm-hmm.
And I've bought cakes at silent auctions before, and at cake auctions, and I've never had a bad one. You don't see it very often, but I love a good old-fashioned cakewalk. Like, that's one of my favorite things in the world. When you go to the old fairs or harvest festivals. It's a big one around harvest festival time season. Yeah.
They always have cakewalks. I love a good cakewalk. And you're absolutely right. I've never gone home with a bad cake. Yeah, not ever. But
if anybody needs more information, they can call me at 575-910-4648.
Okay.
Or they can call Tom Blake at 575-420-3434.
Okay. That's a different number than I had, actually. So 420-3434 is the number to call for Tom Blake, or call 910-4648 to get a hold of Bob Power. And again, this event is it's for a fantastic cause. If you've spent any portion of time in downtown Roswell, if you've come to the Farmers and Gardeners Market, if you work downtown, you've seen it firsthand. I mean, and it's everywhere. The pandemic has, multiplied the problem of folks who have been, taken away from their homes, from their livelihoods. All we're trying to do is give these folks a little humanity back. That's it. Because for so long they've basically been, living off of what, the good of those around them. And all we're trying to do is give them some humanity back. That's really it.
Tom took over as, they call him director of ministry because he wasn't ordained in the Presbyterian church.
Right.
He was ordained, but for all practical purposes, he's the pastor.
Sure.
And that church was never known for helping homeless people.
Right.
And Tom helped a homeless person that must have gone back and told all of his friends.
He said, hey, I know a guy.
And he got bombarded with them. And it hasn't stopped.
Sure.
And
that's got to weigh heavy on his heart too. I mean, as somebody who has a heart for service like Tom, and I've known Tom for years. As somebody like Tom who has a heart for service, that's got to just weigh on his heart.
Tom has a heart for people.
Right. You help one, and then 1,000 pop up, and he's like, "Well, now I have a need. I have to help you and you and you and everyone else."
Yeah.
And that's got to weigh hard on him. So obviously, Tom's not one to turn someone in need away, which is why the need is so great. Because it's they found somebody who's helping.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you have anything to donate, if you have any items, especially cakes, any like a gift certificate, if you're a business listening and you have a gift certificate to for your service or your business that you can donate, that would be absolutely fantastic. Again, contact Bob at 910-4648 or contact Tom at 420-3434. And please, any and all donations would be fantastic. But then again, come out to the dance. It's gonna be an awesome time. Just an absolute. I know he flatters himself by saying it wasn't going to be a party, but I think we're throwing a party. We got the King and Queen coming back to play a concert. We got Dwayne and Jill. We got all kinds of food. We got a silent auction. We're talking about a party, and it's only $5 per person. Go stag and pick somebody up. Find yourself maybe a new friend there at the party, or go tag. That's only $10 for you and a partner to dance the night away. It's all going down August 20th, 1 week from this Saturday at the Westminster Presbyterian Church, 2801 West 4th.
I'm happy you didn't make the same mistake I did the last time Dwayne and Jill played.
Oh, what's that?
I was going to introduce them as the King and Queen, and I said the Grandma and Grandpa.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, well, at that point, we might not play. They might not play. Yes, the King and Queen.
That's correct.
Not the old timers. That's right. It's all going down. Dwayne and Jill. Of course, some great food, some great music, and that silent auction where you can definitely pick up something that will be worth your while.
And the food is delicious.
Off the chain.
Every time.
I'm very excited about it. So, yes, it's going down 1 week from Saturday. Make your plans. Your dance card is full. Grab yourself a partner. And get ready to do-si-do on the dance floor.
They couldn't go to McDonald's and get enough food to fill themselves for $5.
For $5? Are you kidding me? Not even close. So you come on out. You're going to get loaded up with food. And this is the other ththing. I love stepping back off the dance floor and watching other people two-step. Because if you've ever seen like an old soul cowboy two-step, they do it with so much passion. Like they're kicking their feet up and they're really, I feel bad for the ladies they're pulling around because they're just whipping them around the dance floor. It's not about you right now. It's about me getting down on this two-step beat. So
if the ladies are out there with them, they enjoy it.
Oh, sure they do. Absolutely. I've seen dust kicking up, sawdust on the dance floor. So come on out, kick up a little sawdust with Dwayne and Jill. Some great food. Some fantastic a chance to for the silent auction. It's going to be a good time. It's all happening at Westminster Presbyterian, right there behind Champion Motorsports on West 2nd, 2801 West 4th. Come on out. It's going to be a hellacious shindig, as they say.
And it's from 6 to 9 p.m.
Yes, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Definitely a great chance to dance the night away on a Saturday night. And then, of course, absolve for the sins that you made at the dance on Sunday morning back at the Presbyterian Church. There you go. So, problem solved. Mr. Bob, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate having you here.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime you got anything going on, come on back to us, and we'll make you feel welcome.
Okay.
I appreciate you.